For a different kind of leisure activity, I'm meeting Ken for a break at his local pub, Leslie. Sitting between a working class and an upper class neighborhood, it has two sides. Traditionally, the lads gather on the right around a great hardwood bar, and the more genteel folks would slip in on the left with its velvet settees, discreet ordering windows, and what they call a snob screen. The pub has a century of fun stained into its ambience. More than just a palace for drinking, it's a palace for conviviality. Scotland is also known for great literature. The Writers' Museum details the lives of Scotland's three greatest literary figures, Robert Burns, Sir Walter Scott, and Robert Louis Stevenson. Robert Burns was Scotland's bard, even though Robbie, as he's lovingly called even today, dared to speak up for the common man and attack social rank. He was a favorite of 18th century Edinburgh's high society. They'd gather in fine homes like this to hear the national poet read.
Scotia's darling seat, all hail thy palaces and towers, where once beneath a monarch's feet sat legislation's sovereign powers.
A century later, Robert Louis Stevenson also stirred the Scottish soul with his pen. An avid traveler who always packed his notepad, Stevenson's settings are vivid and filled with wonder. Traveling through Scotland, Europe, and around the world, he distilled his adventures into evocative classics like Kidnapped and Treasure Island. Sir Walter Scott, who wrote the Waverley novels, including Ivanhoe and Rob Roy, is considered the father of the romantic historical novel. Through his writing, he generated a worldwide interest in Scotland and reawakened his countrymen's pride in their heritage. Scott is so revered in Edinburgh that his towering neo-Gothic monument dominates the city centre. With his favorite hound, Sir Walter Scott overlooks the city that he inspired and that inspired him.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
To enliven all this literary history, take the Edinburgh Literary Pub Tour.
I do think you're giving completely the wrong impression.
You'll follow the witty dialogue of two actors as they debate whether the great literature of Scotland was high art or the creative recreation of fun-loving louts fueled by a love of whiskey.
Robert Louis Stevenson's Jekyll and Hyde. It was on the moral side and in my own person that I learned to recognize the thorough and primitive duality of man. My devil had been long caged, and he came out roaring.
Easy, Tag. You're getting a little bit carried away there. Thought you were going to pole dance for us there, Miss McBride.